Hey, what's going on, YouTube Nation? Hey, this is another episode of The Lies You Tell with Uncle T. I'd like to thank all my subscribers and all my new subscribers. Thank you for your support. We got a topic today, y'all. Paternity fraud. Have you been a victim of paternity fraud? Do you know someone who is a victim of paternity fraud? Do you know someone who is a perpetrator who is a scandalous individual who are putting paternity on men that they know that are not theirs, faking pregnancy tests? Do you know anybody who is a perpetrator of paternity fraud? I do. Did you know that this is an epidemic? This is a real epidemic right now in the United States, that the state of Tennessee has adopted into law paternity fraud. And so you say, well, how do you come up with all these? How did they come up with that to say that that is actual fraud? Doesn't the wife or the girlfriend know who's the baby's father? Should the men even accept the fact that a woman says, "Hey, this is your baby"? Should we be accepting the fact that to say, "Okay, yeah, that's true. I believe you. That's my child"? Those days are out the window. Those days are long gone, because a lot of men are contesting these paternity tests. Now, did you know that there are between 5.3 million and 7.7 million paternity tests that are involving cases of fraud across the U.S.? Think about that for a minute. 5.5 to 7.7 million cases, to where they have found that people, I want to say people, women have said, this is your child, and the baby was not the man's child. Now, 25 to 30%, they've tested. 25 to 30% have been tested, and they have come to the fact that these are the numbers that are showing that these men are not the father. Now, these are the ones that have only just been tested, not the ones that have not been tested or even come forth to say that this is not my child. Now, Tennessee has now put a law into effect, paternity fraud, meaning that when a single male, unmarried, that the woman cannot just name someone who she wants to name and put on the birth certificate. You have to actually have a blood test or a paternity test to prove that this individual is the father of the child. So you can't just blame somebody because y'all broke up. You're mad because you broke up. You put him down as the father, or you trying to get back at him, or whatever the reason is. Can't do that in the state of Tennessee. I'm an advocate for it, because I hope that they bring this law to North Carolina, because right now the government is talking about making this as a national law in all states. So I know a lot of times, just like with weed being authorized to smoke weed in your state legally, this is going to do the same thing. It's going to be a trickling effect once they find out that it's going to work for them. And I truly believe that this should be a thing in North Carolina, because the game is going to change for real. Now, why is it that I listened to some interviews? Someone brought this to me, and I thought this was a crazy story. I never thought about it. I never knew that this was such an epidemic. You know, a lot of times we look at the Maury show. We look at Maury Povich show. He's made a lifetime living off of saying, you're not the father, you are the father. This man has been on for years and years and years, and we don't think anything about it because, it's just entertainment. But there's an epidemic out here. You got the, what's her name, Laura Lake's paternity show. You got some of these other shows out here with paternity that people are just popping up saying, hey, you're the father, and I know you're the daddy, and I'm 110%. Steve Wilkos show, all these other shows, and I know that he's 110% the father. And then when you read Steve reads the results, he's not the father. Then they run off stage and blah, 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 blah. I wish that there was some type of magical door that wouldn't let them run off stage, get back out here and face the music, that to where you just can't run off the stage and go cry and boo-hoo because you done blamed the wrong man and done drugged this man through the mud for years, and he's not even the father. Now, what I have found out is that with these paternity cases, and this is something that I have not heard. This is something that nobody told me. I know for a fact that this occurs because I was a victim of paternity fraud. But mine went a whole different way because I didn't allow mine to go down this way. So my next episode that I'm going to be recording right after this one will be I was a victim of paternity fraud, and I'm going to tell all the fellas what you have to do. And the thing is that problem I have with this is that you have Junebug over here who you was messing around with. He's over here, y'all getting high, smoking weed together, drinking and doing all this. You know, he knocking your guts out, jumping up and down inside of you, and y'all having a good time. Okay? And then you have a guy over here, he's a cool dude. He's got himself together. He's got his head on straight. He works every day. He does the right thing. Nice looking guy. You come up pregnant. Now a woman comes up pregnant. Now the game is over. She decides that, well, I don't want Junebug. Junebug, he ain't but a pothead. He a drug head. He don't halfway work. So he ain't going to be a good example to my child. He's not going to be a good example to my baby. But here it is, Tyrone over here. Tyrone does the right thing, go to work every day, pretty good with his money. You know, he ain't out here in the streets. You know, he'll be a good influence to my child. He loves me. He takes care of me. He'll be the guy I would want my baby to say that's his father. So therefore, Tyrone gets stuck with a baby only for financial reasons. Junebug goes set free because he's just a piece of work. He's just a sperm donor who's a piece of work and just a plain idiot. So we don't want him. Let's get the guy. Let's get Tyrone because, you know, I think he'll be a good look for my child. This is the kind of stuff that goes on all the time. All the time. All across America. Now, prime example here. What is a paternity fraud? And just here in the state of Tennessee, says paternity fraud occurs when a woman intentionally names a man to be the father of her child when she knows he is not the biological father, often for the purpose of collecting support, WIC, Section 8 housing, food stamps, or any other funds, just because she's naming the other man. How long has this been going on? This was going on, I know, way back in the 80s. And I know it had to be going on way before then. And most of the time when a guy tells a woman, hey, I want a blood test, you know, she's going to get hysterical. Because it's a trust issue. You know, I don't trust you. You don't trust me. We done been together. You don't trust me. I said it's your child. It's your baby. Let me tell you something. For a man, it's an ego thing. A man's ego, he is passing his legacy down. You know, this may be his son, his daughter. He wants to know that his child, his first child, second child, or whatever, belongs to him. And for any female, I mean, if you had nothing to hide, you know, if you had nothing to hide, you guys been together, you break up, you're messing around, he's messing around, then y'all come back together. You may not even know who that child belongs to. You just assumed that this is his child. You don't know for sure. Do we have 100% sure? Some people do. I ain't gonna say that. Some people do. Some women know 100% sure we broke up, but when we got back together, I was messing around with nobody and I wasn't pregnant. And then all of a sudden we got back together. 3 months later, I'm pregnant. Okay? That does happen. I'm talking about these promiscuous young women out here. I'm gonna tell you something, fellas. I don't care how smooth you are. I don't care how much you think you may be a suave. I don't care if you the light skinned hazel eyed guy with the wavy hair. I'm telling you, you ain't no player, bro. You ain't no player. I'm gonna tell you right now. Women are the smoothest players on the planet. A woman can cheat on you and you would never ever know it. I'm gonna say it again. Women are the best cheaters on the planet. Men are bar none. You are not in competition. You don't even come close to a cheating woman. Not even close. So quit thinking that you running games. Quit thinking when you out there cheating and you out there doing your thing and she sitting at home and she this and she that. Bruh, a woman could cheat on you. She could say, I'm going up here to the grocery store and come back and be done her thing, and you'll never know. She come back in the house with some loaf of bread and jug of milk and some eggs, and you think she done been to the store. Bruh, she done went and got her some and came back. And you will never know. That's how smooth a woman is. I'm telling you. I don't understand why you want to sleep around with these women. No, they were freaks. And I'm gonna say this. Strap up, bruh. Strap up, put a condom on. I don't understand why you want to sleep with a woman knowing you don't have no protection. And then when she says she's pregnant, you want to talk about, it ain't my baby. How you know that? How do you know? You have no way of not knowing that's not your baby. Did you have protection on? No. So it's a possibility. Women, why do you let these men go up in you, raw dog, no protection, no condom, no nothing? You don't know if he got herpes. You don't know if he got HIV. You don't know nothing. Nothing. And then you come up pregnant and you mad when he say, that ain't my baby. You better go on ahead. And you better go talk to your boy down the street. What do you expect for him to say? When you met him? Fellas, when you know, I'm gonna tell you something, ladies. It's all about how you carry yourself too. When he met you, you was a freak. You was dropping it like it was hot, twerking, making that booty clap, doing all kind of freaky stuff. So he figured you got freaky with him like that. So he knows, okay, you must be getting freaky like that with somebody else. He ain't the only one. He ain't the first one you got freaky with. I mean, that's what I would think. Okay, she don't even know me and she freaky like this with me. So I know she done got freaky with somebody else. And then when you get pregnant, ain't my baby. And then you want to fight the dude, argue with the dude, all this and that. And then you wonder why. I even went on Facebook and put something out. I don't understand it. Is it just me that whenever I look at all these women with all these, when you add a friend or you confirm a friend, look at all those women on those on their pages. Just click on them and just tap on them and look at their pictures. These women are butt ass naked. All you see is titties, asses, and vaginas. All you got to do is just move the G-string to the right or the left and you can see right up in them. That's how naked they are. And somehow you think that you're going to be wifey material. That a man going to want to be with you after you done show everything. I mean, all the way down, not just having a bikini on, all the way down to between your butt cheeks, and you think that only a simp wants that. Only a simp wants that. Real man with standards, a man of quality, a man who's got it going on, he don't want you as his wife. He don't. Because if he do, all he's going to do is control you and put his hands on you. That's all he's going to do. You're just a trophy piece. You're just something to look good when you're out in public. A man wants to be with a woman he can invest in. When a man invests in a woman, that's when you know a man loves you, because he'll invest in you. He'll invest his time, his money, everything. I don't understand it. I don't understand how it's come to this, that you almost have to be butt naked to think that you can get a man. That's the only way you can get a man. Because I put on there on Facebook, is this all you have to offer? Is this it? Because I done been all around the world. Military, traveling. I done been all over the world. I done seen some of the most beautiful women in the world. That a lot of these girls I see on Facebook who trying to act like they tens, trust me, you ain't nothing but a 3 to some of the places I've been. And I'm talking about girls with natural beauty. No makeup, no nothing. I mean, just literally beautiful. And the most prettiest woman I ever seen was in Africa. When I was in Africa, she was black as a can of shoe polish. She had the prettiest ocean blue eyes. Natural ocean blue eyes. Had the prettiest braids in her hair. Beautiful. No makeup, no nothing. Most beautiful woman I ever seen in my life. Trust me. And when I look at some of these pictures, I'm like, wow, y'all got to do better than this, man. If you want a good man, girl, cover up. Let it be some type of mystery. Let it be something that he can imagine what it's like if he gonna marry you or be with you. Let him at least have some type of mystery as to what it's like with your clothes off. I mean, y'all already show with everything off. Hell, it ain't nothing else to imagine at this point. I done seen everything. But that's just my soapbox, man. But guys, it goes both ways. I'm not here to scold the women. I'm not here to scold the men. But I'm telling you, this thing is going to come to a head with this paternity fraud. Women, make these guys put condoms on. Guys, put condoms on. That way you don't have to worry about all this foolishness. When a woman be talking about, hey, this your baby. No, you know I had a condom on. And do not leave the condom at the house. I don't care if you got to carry a Ziploc bag, put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in your pocket and go throw it away when you get home. I don't care what you do. Women will go in the trash can, get your condom, and drain your semen out of that condom into their vagina and get pregnant by you. That has been told to me by other women. That has been done. It's crazy out here. And it's bad that some women are looking to get pregnant just to get on Section 8 food stamps, WIC, Medicaid. I mean, just to get all these things. And that's what they do. It's almost being treated like it's a part-time job. Like it's an entrepreneurship. Like I'm an entrepreneur. This is what I do. This is how I make my money on the side, by getting guys for child support. If I can get 2 or 3 guys, get 2 or 3 kids, get 2 or 3 streams of income coming from 3 different guys, that's money coming in. What in the world? The sentences. And we talk about a sentence. One of the sentences are 2 years, less than a day, $5,000 fine. Maximum 14 years in prison above $5,000. Many other variables the court wishes to do. Crazy stuff. Also in the state of Tennessee, it's considered a Class B misdemeanor. And you got to pay back money. Pay back money and jail time. The game is going to change, folks. The game is going to change. When a woman cannot go out here and just put a baby on somebody, and you got to prove and a man can have a blood test and he is not the baby, and you up here talking about I want assistance, guess what? Guess what? You're gonna be you until you find out who that father of that child is. They may even come back and say you're not getting any assistance until we know who the father is. And if we don't know who the father is, basically you might have to be in debt for it. It's a possibility. I've seen these shows where women have been tested 6, 7, 8, 9 times because they don't even know. They done been with so many guys, they don't even know who the daddy is. The House Bill 2699, 2688. This is the story that sparked a lot of things in Tennessee. Republican Antonio Perkins proposed a bill that would ensure that the actual biological father is listed on the birth certificate of the child. If you are single, they do mandatory testing. If you are married, you have to get it yourself. Memphis, Tennessee. He talked to a young man who was in a relationship with a woman it was over 5 years. Okay. He was taking care of the kid, right? Taking care of the kid. They in a relationship. All right. So he found out through rumors that child was not his, that she was messing around. So he had a blood test, or he had some type of paternity test done. Come to find out, the baby wasn't his. She found out about it. He confronted her and said, "This child is not mine. How could you do this to me?" Right? She gets angry. She goes and takes him uptown for child support. I guess she thought, well, I'll get him for child support before he try to give this paperwork saying that he's not the father. Okay? Go to court. Tells the magistrate. She says, yep, he's the father. He says, no, I'm not. Shows the documentation. Stupid judge says, well, you might have paperwork saying that you're not the father, but somebody got to feed this child. So I think it should be you. Made him pay child support, paid the rears, paid child support, and then they suspended his license. He gets caught with a suspended license, threw him in jail, kept him in jail, lost his job. Now he can't even pay child support. Now he can't even pay his bills. This woman, knowing that this man was not the father of this child, but so vindictive, went up there, lied, and said that he was the father. Paternity fraud. Even when the man had legitimate tests from a diagnostic center saying that he was not the father. Still put it on him anyway because she didn't want to bother the real father, whether he was married or whether he was with another girl or whatever the situation was, right? Now, 25 to 30% of men find out that they're not the biological father. They find out through rumors. They find out through the child is sick or need a blood transfusion or anything like that. They test the father. Come to find out, I'm sorry, the blood doesn't match. You're not the father. Find out through these methods. Some people confess on their deathbed that John is not your father. Jimmy is. Finding out these things, it is crazy, y'all. The game is going to change. The game is going to change when a woman is thrown in jail for pinning paternity fraud on a man that she knows is not the father. It's going to come down to that. And I will be glad because in the state of North Carolina, that needs to happen. I think it needs to happen in every state. But I'm an advocate for it. And if I can do whatever I can do to try to get it pushed here in North Carolina, I'll be right down to Governor Cooper's office trying to get it pushed because it doesn't make sense. It not only is it vindictive, it's evil, it's the most level of wickedness you can ever do to a man. I mean, you rip a man's soul out. Here's a man who's looking at a child thinking, this is my baby. And then he finds out that it's not his child. Women have no idea what that does to the soul of a man. No idea. In my next video that I put out next after this one, you'll find out what it did to me. And I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm just gonna tell the truth and just let you know what it is. But the game is gonna change when women start going to jail, when women start having to pay back child support that they've received, when women are being turned down for services, for Section 8 housing, food stamps, and all these things, because we have learned the game now. And I've asked some women. I've had women already told me just last week, saying that this ain't nothing new. There's a whole lot of women that they know that had pimp babies on men that they knew that wasn't the father. And they were cool with it. Didn't have no conscience about it. Didn't know, I'm sorry. I really didn't know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you. No. You were a means to an end. A financial means for her child and for her. Because y'all broke up. She couldn't get you back. Now you with somebody else. You with one of her friends now. So she's going to be wicked. She's a scorned woman. So she's going to put this baby on you. You know, I mean, all kind of scenarios. I don't understand why a woman just can't say, you know, I don't know who's the father. I was with these 3 guys. He looks like such and such, but I'm not sure. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with just saying, I don't know? Why don't we all three of y'all and myself get paternity tests, and let's just find out who the daddy is. That way, I ain't got to have all this daddy drama. I ain't got to worry. That way I have the means to help take care of the child. What's wrong with that? Why stick it to a brother who you know beyond a shadow of a doubt he's not the father? Why do that? That's just really a low-life individual that would do something like that. You got to be a real low-life woman to do something like that. That is wicked as all get out. But paternity fraud, it is what it is. And that's the bottom line, because Uncle T said so.